Hey, it's Mr. Keys, and today we're going to take a look at 16th notes and the rhythms that they can create. In previous videos, I introduced the 8th note, and I said at the time that the whole note, half note, and chord note did not really allow us to be very creative when it came to rhythm. The 8th note gave us a lot more possibilities since we had up to 8 different positions that we could place notes within every single bar. And the 16th note gives us even more possibilities. It gives us 16 slots that we can place notes in per bar. Let's take a look at the 16th note. This is what it looks like. So it has the ball and it has the stick with the 2 flags, whereas an 8th note only has the 1 flag. This is what a 16th rest looks like. It has these 2 little notches, and an 8th rest looks like this. So an 8th note we know is half a beat. A 16th note is a quarter of a beat. I'm also going to show you down here what a 16th note looks like. So if I click down here and I draw a note, this is a 16th note. We can see that this is an entire bar, and here's beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. And a 16th note is a quarter of a beat, and that's where these lines kind of delineate where our 16th notes would stop. So we can have 4 16th notes per beat. This is what an 8th note looks like. 2 16th notes fit into 1 8th note. So we could have 2 8th notes per beat. And this is, of course, what a chord note looks like. It's an entire beat by itself. From now on, when it comes to 16th note rhythms, we're not going to use standard notation that I've been using in previous videos. We're going to use the box notation, which I feel is a lot better at representing 16th notes, and it's much easier to visualize as well. So take a look at this. Here's our grid. Now we're going to divide it into 16 pieces. For 8th notes, we would have divided it into 8. Right, so almost done here. And I'm going to show you how we count 16 notes. This is still beat 1. This is going to be beat 2 right here, beat 3, and this is beat 4. Now, each of these boxes get a count. So the first one gets the number, so it's 1. This is E, this is and this is So the plus means and. E and 3, E and 4, E and If you have any questions about how this works, I go into a lot more detail in this video right here. So take a look. All right, and then of course we'll check off the little boxes here just to see what notes we're actually going to play and when we're going to play them. Let's take a look at the rhythm for a couple of songs to get an idea of how the 16th note grid is used. I'm still going to use standard notation when it comes to writing out the chords. So here we're taking a look at Trap Queen by Fetty Wap. So let's write out the chords first. It starts with A minor, then it goes to E minor, and you're going to notice that I'm not going to write the timing for these chords. I'm going to use the grid to represent that. So we have 3 bars that are exactly the same, and then the last bar is different. All right, when it comes to using the grid, this is what it looks like, and I'm going to show you just like the first bar with the grid. So I'm going to divide this into 16 pieces just like we did before. And then what you're going to see is you're going to see where the chords occur. And I'm just going to write that on top. So this is beat 1, E and 2, E and 3, E and 4, E and Now, so this is 4/4 as well. A minor, or the first chord in the bar, because the rhythm for all these bars is going to be exactly the same. So the first chord in the bar comes here. We have another check mark here. The next one is here, here, and here. So 5 check marks. So we're going to play the chord 5 times, or some chords. E minor actually occurs right here. So if we did a little bit of counting, A minor is going to be 1.5 beats long, whereas E minor is going to be 2.5 beats long. All right, so I'm just going to use a different color just to show you where the beats finish. So here's the end of beat 1, here's the end of beat 2, here's the end of beat 3. So take a look. A minor gets the entire beat 1 plus half of beat 2. E minor gets the other half of beat 2 and the rest. So beats 3 and beats 4. So this is 2.5, this is 1.5. All right, let's take a look at what that looks like up top. Okay, so this is always going to represent the first chord of the bar, and this is going to represent the second chord of the bar. So when we get to the last bar, F major would come here, C major would come here. Let's take a look, and I'll go through each chord. So A minor, E, A, E, A, E, F, C. This is a very common rhythmic pattern, and it's seen all over in the pop world, whether it's rap or EDM, etc. We can take a look at this pattern here. So we can see that the first one is right here. This is 1, E, and A. So we have a check mark in A. Then the next one is in the half of beat 2, etc. And you can map these directly to what we see right here. The A minor chord is these two chords right here. And the E minor chord is these three right here. For quantizing purposes, we would quantize this by 16th notes, just like you can see right here. Okay, let's look at some other professional examples. Okay, let's take a look at another song. This song is called This Is What You Came For by Calvin Harris featuring Rihanna. Here's what the chords look like. So we have F major, G major, and A minor. So once again, I'm not going to write the rhythm for each note. Instead, what we're going to do, we're going to use the box notation just for the rhythm for each chord. So let's divide this into 16 parts as evenly as we can. And it's 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and all right, and we're in 4/4 time. So one thing to note is that this bar and this bar have the same rhythm, and this bar and this bar have slightly different rhythms. All right, so I'm just going to star where the rhythm changes. All right, so the first check mark goes here. Then we have a check mark in the A, and then the half of 2, the E of 3, and on beat 4. So that would be the rhythm for these two bars. The rhythm for the first two bars is going to have one extra check mark right here. Okay? Let's take a look at the rhythm. So if we click on it here and we do a little bit of counting, I'm just going to zoom so that we can see the entire. So this is beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4 for bar 1. And then we have bar 2 and bar 3 and bar 4. Okay, so if we match these ones, each of these 4 slots match each of these 4 slots for beat 1, and so on. So I'm just going to draw in the counting below. This is 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and the same is true for all the rest of the bars. So we can see where our star occurs for these two patterns. It's right here on the of beat 3. If we look at bar 3, we're not going to have that extra note. So 3, E, and 4, E, and notice on the there's nothing there. It only occurs in the first 2 bars. The third and the fourth bar have the exact same rhythm. Okay, let's listen to how this sounds. Okay, so that gives us an idea of what the rhythm sounds like. Now, let's keep in mind that whoever created this beat, they're not thinking about, oh, let me count like this, and let me put this check mark here. And they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about what they want to hear, and then they create it. But if you have trouble with that creative process, then sometimes you can do some experimentation like what we do with these bars here. So maybe try checking off here and then, try random spots and see what it sounds like. And eventually, just through trying different things, you'll find what you like to hear. You can always go and edit these notes down here just by shifting them around and seeing what you get. So in this video, we focused on professional examples and how they created their rhythms. In the next video, we'll make our own pattern so that you can see other examples of how to use 16th notes with your chords.